Alright folks, I'm going to go over onesies. Onesies are a type of lidded pot where you throw the pot and the lid all together and then you cut them apart. So first, of course, I need to center. If your clay is not centering very well or you're a little lax about prepping your clay, remember to wheel wedge. That's where you push it up, push it down. So make sure you get that really nice and centered. Once you don't get that wiggle, ease away. Open it like you normally would. However you prefer to open. You can foot these pots. You don't have to foot these pots. You will make at least one onesie. Odds are good you'll make a couple, because sometimes the first one does not work out so well. I'm going to show you two different ways to make them. Again, this is an integrated lid. The onesie is my name for it. You won't hear that elsewhere. That's just my name. Well, my name is Mrs. Hussar, but that's my name for these types of pots. Pull your cylinder. If it's still taking you 15 pulls to do what I just did, you need to work on your technique a little bit. Maybe watch those Tim C videos. They are available in a module instructional Tim C help. So check that out. But you may not be pressing enough. If nothing is happening, if you keep destroying it, you may be pressing too much. But really, 1 or 2 pulls, maybe 3, is all you should need for this. Now before you do the next stage, and by the way, if you want to use block clay for this, if you've been having trouble, if the barrel clay keeps cracking or something, let me know. Now I confess, I did not prep this very well. But again, you've got to get that water out of there. Otherwise, I can guarantee the bottom of your pot is just going to collapse. All right, now I need a collar, which remember, it's like, hey, and then you flip your thumbs down. And you want to come about 2/3 of the way. Start squeezing in more and more. Come up to the top. Lift a little bit more. Do it again. Remember, if your fingers are getting really sticky there, ease off, get a little bit of water. But try not to get much water inside. If you do, use a sponge on a stick and get that water out of there. Again. You're pushing toward the inside. I'm actually lifting, and I know I hold my fingers weird. A lot of times at this point you only need just a finger or two on the outside really doing stuff. You're still keeping yourself braced. And again, collar, but about every 1 or 2 times you collar, you gotta again lift that because you're compressing that clay, making those walls thicker. And once you get it closed, then you've got a little bit of leeway there. You can kind of play around with it a little bit, reshape that stuff. You want to have at least one part of it straight up and down for this first type. The whole thing doesn't have to be, but at least some of it. And notice I'm just coming back and refining, which really you should do that on all of your pots. To make that little knob, basically it's like you're centering just a little piece of it. And then I take the back of my pinky nail. You don't have to have long nails for that. Just back your pinky nail and make an undercut. So if you can see how that goes underneath there. Otherwise, it's not going to be easy to pick up. Especially once it's glazed, you'll probably just keep dropping your lid. All right, now, before you let this dry, you need to use a popsicle stick. You should find one that's cut. I'm going to have a bunch over in the brown tubs over there. And I'm doing an experiment today. I've got some that are cut at a little bit more of an angle there. Not quite a 45-degree angle, but getting toward that. And then I've got some that are just straight across. If you're right-handed, you're going to use these on the right side of your pot. If you're left-handed, you're going to use them on the other side. I'm going to try using one that's got the angle, and I want the part that's longest on the bottom. So I don't want it like that. I want it with the angle going that way. If you do it the other side, again, the longer end is on the bottom. So I'm going to lay that tangent to the pot, so not perpendicular, not stabbing into it. I'm going to lay it against the side. And then once you go in about what you think is the thickness of the pot, turn that so it's more straight out. And then what that should give you is an angled piece there. What you can also do, so just drop that, if you take one of the ones that's more 90-degree angle, and start it, push it in, and then just tip the bottom, and that should give you the same result. And then that one is done. Okay, so it should angle in some. I don't know if you can see that. So that does angle. If it just goes straight up and down, or if that inset right here, if that angles out, it's not going to work. Okay, now I'm going to try the second one. Add my bat. The second one, you just cut off the top. So actually I'm going to make that two separate videos.